Okay, we are live. Ask me anything. So here I am, your chance to come on live and ask me anything, any question to do with horses, horse care, training, dressage, horsemanship, self-development, mindset, any of those things. Feel free to ask me any questions you have. And I've already asked this question in my group and got a lot of juicy questions coming in, one of which was repeated several times. So this is the one that I'm going to focus on. But if you have questions that you didn't get a chance to ask me, feel free to put a note for me below. And that question was trailer loading. This was the most asked question, I guess, because people are wanting to go places with their horses at this time. And actually for us right here where we are in a massive heat wave. So trailer loading is really important for us to be able to have our horses safe and secure and have a quick escape route if we need, because of wildfires that are happening. So not everyone will really answer your questions in a candid way, because going up to the highest of levels with your horses, whether it's trailer loading, whether it's classical dressage, whatever it is, whether it's having a lasting bond and accomplishing your goals at the same time, not a lot of people will answer you in a very candid way about the journey, right? What it's like to go from being totally fearful about where you don't even want to put your foot in the stirrup to step in the saddle. You don't know what to do next with the trailer, perhaps, and what's happening with your horse. You don't know how to achieve the vision that you have with your horse. That was me. That was me. So this is what I want to help you with today. What you're going to do, right? How do you deal with this? How do you make consistent choices so that you can move forward every day? So if you have any questions, be sure to put a note for me below. And hi, my name is Chris Adderson, and I'm the founder of Harmony for the Horse. So if you are on live here, let me know who you are, let me know where you're coming from, and let me know what you do with your horse. And if you're on the replay too, feel free to put questions in for me afterwards, because I always come in and I always answer and I always chat with you. All right, let's get into trailer loading. Oh, Connie, great to see you, Connie. How are you doing? We're going to go into the trailer loading, Connie, and then I will get back to your question, all right? If you're not already in my free Facebook group, feel free to join, because in that group, we answer a lot of questions as well, but this is the live training where you get to ask. All right, this is the question for Deanna, and I'm going to have it put up on the screen here so that you can read it for yourself. I don't even know where to start. Miss Nova was a tough one from day one. She was the type of horse that no one would have kept. I spent hours with her. And the next part of it is, I've tried so many different techniques to help her learn to trust. She's come so far. Our last obstacle is finding enough comfort in the trailer that I can shut the doors. She will be doing great, eating her breakfast, and then she'll have a huge blow up, sometimes hitting her head. She will take a bite back out and look to the right and left, then go back in and do the same. thing over and over. Trailer is backed into the round pen. When we practice together being in the trailer, I go in, pet her, talk to her. She'll be good and relaxed until she's not. Unpredictable. All right. Okay. Thanks so much for that question, Deanna. And if you're on live here, we can chat and you can see if you have any more questions as I go through this. On the replay too, Deanna, feel free to put questions. All right. So I have done hundreds of trailer loading demos and clinics in the past years. I would go to a clinic and have 10 trailers lined up in 2 rows. And then I would go from trailer to trailer to trailer, helping the rider, helping the person who was managing the horse to get to the source of the problem. All right, so this is what we're going to highlight today, is getting to the source of the problem. And there are a lot of reasons, right, why a horse has problems. Because if you look at it, going inside a trailer for a horse is a pretty extreme thing to do, isn't it? Right? It is a small area. They are compressed from the top, compressed from the side. It's a strange feeling underneath their feet, compressed from behind, compressed from in front. So there's a lot of things that are going on in their mind as they go in the trailer. And it can be very challenging. So in these clinics, what I would do is I went from trailer to trailer to trailer, is I would first of all find out what the source of that horse's issue was with the trailer. And then I would, in tandem with the rider, help them to load the horse in the trailer. And then I would ask the person to load the horse in the trailer themselves, so that it becomes a skill that you have. And it's a skill not only in technique. Technique is a huge part of it, yes, but it's a skill in understanding as well. So along the lines of this question too from Deanna, there was another woman, Sarah, who asked the same question. I'm just going to highlight it here, where she said her horses weren't hauled anywhere until now. She has 2 horses and she would like to get them ready to be taken out in the trailer or the float. She was from Australia. And what was happening is they wouldn't stay in. And this is the same as Deanna's question is. She would sort of get them in there, and then something would happen. They wouldn't stay in. And Sarah was trying to get both her horses in together so that she could take them somewhere. And she asked if I had any tips. So what I did is I asked her a question back. And my question was, do you want to do this for the short term, or do you want to do this for the long term, forever and with quality? And she answered back and she said, oh, of course, I want to do it for the long term, right? I want to do what's best for my horse. And so I said, okay, you have your answer. Then this is what you need to do. First of all, and Deanna talked about this, you need to have trust. The horse has to trust you, right? And I know everybody talks about trust, but this is the precursor for everything. There has to be the trust, and along with the trust, getting trust that your horse trusts you, is the understanding. Okay, so trailer loading being one of the most difficult things that you can do with a horse, there needs to be a lot of understanding. And this is what we do in our program, is we help you to understand your horse, who your horse is, and how to accept your horse for who they are. Okay, that is one component. The next component is being able to have the skills, the capabilities to load your horse in the trailer. So you need to have the ability to physically lead your horse. All right? Lead your horse, hold your horse, guide your horse, And then repeat that over and over and over in all kinds of different situations. So because your horse does not go into the trailer and stay in the trailer, there's a misunderstanding there, right? The horse is misunderstanding one part of that those physical components that I just mentioned. Lead your horse, hold your horse, guide your horse, right? There's a missing component. And the missing component for Deanna is hold your horse. Okay? So for Deanna, I'd recommend that you go into all kinds of different situations, not trailer loading, but situations that challenge the bubble a little bit. Not too much that you overface your horse, not too much that it becomes forcing. I do not agree with that. But just little steps so that the horse can learn to trust you. When you lead, that means follow. When you hold, that means stay. And if your horse can stay and trust you and be in the trailer, then that sets off their thought process, their emotional process in their body that says, okay, I am here, I'm staying here, I'm relaxing, I'm releasing, I'm softening, and I'm here. Okay. And those different situations might be that you go just go for a walk with your horse away from other horses so they can't see other horses. And this will show to you, Deanna, or anyone else watching here, oh, my horse does not really know how to lead. Because when there is anxiety, my horse leans on the pressure when I am holding, right? And I'm not saying you have to be like a 300-pound man to be able to do this. No, what we do is the step-by-step process. I'm a small person, yet I could load these horses of all descriptions, and some of them great, big, huge horses that had absolutely no desire to go in the trailer. But what I did was I backed up and I found out where the gap was in the horse's understanding. So getting curious enough to be able to back up and find out where that misunderstanding is. And you can do that in this way that I've given you here. And this is what we do in our program too, right? Is we help you to find out where the misunderstandings are, where the gaps are in your understanding of your horse, so that the two of you can both come together. And so in Diana's case, yeah, she has the trailer backed up into the round pen and it's sitting there, and the horse goes in at will. And then sometimes Deanna is there. So I would like to refer you, Deanna, and anyone else also, to a training that I previously did. You can, if you're in my free Facebook group, you can scroll up and see the different lives and the trainings. But that training is about the difference between comfort and comforting. Okay, so getting that clear for yourself will help you. So find that training and find out how you can get clear on the difference between providing comfort for my horse and being comforting to my horse. So backing the horse into the round pen, that gives the horse the environment. And yes, I've done that before and it works. And the horse can go willingly in and out, but it can also willingly back out at any point in time, right? You want the horse to be able to stay in and to understand that it can stay in. And now, right, we talked about being safe, and the trailer, you know, the bottom of the trailer, everything has to be pretty safe, very safe, so that there's nothing going to happen that's going to spook the horse, right? All the safety tips. This is not what I'm talking about here, but make sure your trailer is hooked up properly. Make sure it's not going to fall. Make sure the floor is very solid and there's nothing that's going to give. Make sure your horse has a safe place to go in the trailer, as right from us as a human rider perspective, as safe as possible that we can make it. All right, the second thing that I want to touch on here is the fear. Okay, so the trailer loading, as we talked about, it's difficult. So horses become fearful. And I can just tell you about this one instant where one of my horses, her name is Dawn, she was a top level horsemanship horse. And I hauled her everywhere. I hauled her across the country. I hauled her across the continent. And she was performed in shows, in fairs. She did everything. One day, she had trouble in the trailer. And it was something that it was like, where did this come from? I had hauled her somewhere, and it was on a back road. It was on a different kind, wasn't on a highway. And I hauled her. And when I went to get it, this was before, cameras that you could watch your horse. I went to get her out of the trailer, and she was dripping with sweat. And I was like, what's going on? This horse is a seasoned traveler. So that got my process of curiosity up. And this is what I want you to do. I delved deep into what was going on in that horse's mind. And you know what I did to try and figure it out? Well, I did figure it out. Let me know if this resonates with you, that you've been in that place where what is going on? Put a note for me below. So what I did is I loaded her in the trailer, and she had no stress loading in the trailer, no stress standing in the trailer, no stress staying in the trailer. So what I did was I climbed into the trailer from the front door, right? It was a very safe place, up onto the feed bin. Back then, I had a smaller trailer. It was a Logan trailer, and I was up on the feed bin, which was very safe. And I had someone drive the trailer with me there, and I watched. And I had him turn corners and swerve around bends, not fast, right? What was going on was that she was scrambling in the trailer. And this sometimes happens. This happens to horses. So she would start scrambling almost up the side of the trailer. She's a very sensitive mare, very intelligent, very seasoned mare, but something had happened that caused her to become fearful in the trailer. We had trust. We had understanding, the things that I just talked about, but what happened is there was fear that came in there. There was fear and anxiety. So immediately we stopped the trailer, and I had figured it out. She was unable to balance herself in that trailer on a sharp turn. The trailer was a little bit small, but she was unable to balance herself. And being a very sensitive mare, she didn't want to lean up against anything, right? Some horses, they don't care. They'll just lean on things and use that to balance and support themselves, right? Right? Think about trimming or riding, any of those things. Some horses just like, it's okay to lean. She didn't want to do that because she was very highly trained as well, but very sensitive. And so every time she felt that she had to move her body to balance in the trailer and touch the side of the trailer, she started to panic. And then the panic became anxiety. And then her flight response kicked in, and she had no way to resolve the issue. So we resolved the issue for her. We had a trailer that had enough room, enough width that she could spread and stand very square. And when she needed to shift one way or the other for wherever the trailer was going, she wasn't forced to have to lean on something because of the constrained space. All right. So that is the fear. I'm going to go to Connie's question here. Let me know if that resonates with you. Let me know if you have experienced any of these things and if this is value for you, helping you to go forward. Okay, Connie says, I have a 5-year-old back from trainer and scared to death of saddle and pad. Oh no. Was super quiet and now supercharged. And any suggestions other than just a lot of handwriting and slowing handwriting? She has no respect for me, will run me over if need be to get away from something. Okay. All right, so let's go to the first part of the question. Getting the horse back from a trainer. Okay, number one, I do not recommend sending your horse out to anybody. You need to get these skills and get the understanding yourself. Okay, that's the only way to do it. You can't send it to someone and not participate with that trainer and expect to get the horse back and get and understand it. So Connie, did you go and visit the trainer and watch sessions with your horse and the trainer? Put a note for me, Connie. Horse was super quiet and now is supercharged. Okay, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Was it successful? No, he did not allow. That tells you something outright, Connie. That is not what you want to do, right? Your horse is your child. Would you send your child off to someone, and if you wanted to check up on how they were learning, they said, no, you can't come? No, that is just not integrity work. So I'm sorry you had to deal with it, but I see this a lot, and it's very unfortunate and it's very sad. So now what can you do from here? The horse has a very good memory, right? They're also very forgiving. So Connie, you are going to have to go back to the basics. You say your horse doesn't respect you. It's not about respect. It's about boundaries, okay? If you have not set clear boundaries on your space, blocking your space, you do not come into my space. Under these circumstances, unless I invite you into my space. Number one, horse will run over me if need be to get away from something. Okay, so a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety. So you need to then gain trust, right? It's not about the horse respecting you. Horses are just fearful of you. You have not been a good parent and established those boundaries very clearly for your horse. So your horse knows, okay, this is clear. I know I can't do that. I know I'm not supposed to do that. I'm going to do that. That's comfort. That's comforting to your horse. They understand that. And now from there, you go, you train and you build the trust in you. You build it so that your horse understands what you're saying, right? And you need support with this, right? I don't know why horse people, I'm not saying this is you, Connie, but why is it that horse people think they can get a horse, anybody, and they instantly know what to do? No, this is a different species from us, right? Being a parent for this first time is scary enough. We don't know what to do, and it's the same species. The baby is the same species as us, but we have a child of a different species. Okay, so yes, slow everything down, go back into in hand, go back into on the ground. It's a bit of a rant for me here, I'm sorry, but this is so true, and I see so many people go through this, and it's unfortunate. You need to get quality good help. Your horse deserves it. You deserve it. So find it. All right. You need to, Connie, go back to very basics, establishing boundaries, as I said, and then start training, understanding, conversation. Listen to what your horse says back to you. It's not about force. All right, let me know if that helps you, Connie. Put a note for me below. So now the last thing I want to touch on that may be affecting your trailer loading, and actually everything in horse training, right? Because as we talked about at the beginning, trailer loading is like one of the most difficult things to do. So you need to have a lot of preparation and a lot of basics and a lot of techniques and understanding in place already, don't you? So if there's a problem in the trailer, okay, Connie, great. Yes, I'm glad that helped. If there's a problem in the trailer, it may be a physical issue with your horse. Okay, so there might be something physically restricted with your horse, like a sore hock or a pelvis that's tilted slightly. Your horse is always trying to show you something. And if you're open to listening, then you will start to understand your horse more, right? And this is what I'm here for. I'm here to give you a different perspective on what listening really is. So he's trying to tell you something about the discomfort, right? So forcing, all right, I've seen it done many times, forcing a horse into the trailer. It can be done, right? Forcing to ride, forcing to reach high levels in dressage, whatever. It can all be done. The horse will succumb, but there will be a compromise somewhere. There will be a disposition compromise in another area of your horse. And Connie, Connie, getting back to you, this is what I'm talking about, right? Your trainer probably, in fact, very likely had some force and did not understand your horse. So there's a compromise in disposition, isn't there? Your horse comes back totally scared of the pad and saddle. What? No. But your horse left and it was calm. Yeah. At the end of the day, if your horse has got something going on and you're pushing through it regarding another method or another trainer or another approach, I would tread very carefully. Right? I personally do not believe in motivating horses in such a way, right? I've been in exactly the same position many times when I don't know what to do in a certain situation with a horse, but force is not the answer, right? It'll come back to haunt you later on down the track. If you've missed a very important clue from your horse, it will come back to haunt you. And we can start to blame because we don't understand. So what I like to do is I like to allow myself to be humbled by my horse, to have the curiosity. Insistence can sometimes be very dangerous if there's not enough understanding of why horses don't respond properly. And this is what we do in our program. We help you to see what the horse is saying and why the horse is not responding so that we can get to the source of the problem. And then we can reach the goals that we want, even if it's just load our horse in the trailer. Connie says, trainers in Kansas just not good enough when you're 64 and physically can't take some chances. You use trainers, but they are worthless. So you are right, though. Do it yourself. Gain the trust between both of you. It's difficult. I understand totally where you're coming from, Connie. And me, myself, I am not a big person, but we have intellect. Connie, 64 years old, not strong, but you're capable. We have our intellect. That's what we use to figure out what to do with our horses. I agree now. I'm scared. I took a 2-year-old for first ride going there tonight. Okay, yeah, a bad situation. Sorry you had to go through that, Connie, but you need to get the education yourself. And this is what we do in our program. Like I said, we help you to get the education so you are empowered. And it's something that you can do for who you are. It's unique to you. It's unique to your horse, right? And we help you to get my biomechanical advice on your horse as well. So there's safety, there's well-being for your horse and well-being for you as your comfort. So don't ever push your horse with your horse. Do not ever overface your horse too much. It can get dangerous. Force does not work, and Connie experienced that. So if you'd like support in anything that I'm giving you here today, this is what we do in our program. You'll see a link somewhere around this video. You can click on the link and apply to work with us. And if you have any questions remaining, I'll check all of my notes to see if there's anything else coming in. And if you're on the replay, feel free to put notes for me below, and I'll come in and answer them. So I hope that answered your questions. Deanna, Connie, Sarah, anyone else listening, let me know if that resonated with you. And it's great to have you here, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye for now.